Ever wondered why we bring a tree into our homes every December? It's a tradition so ingrained in our culture, but its roots go far deeper and are far more tangled than you might think. Long before Christmas lights, stockings, or even the story of a baby in a manger, people looked to evergreen trees as a symbol of hope in the darkest, coldest days of winter. Picture it. Thousands of years ago, as the world outside turned bleak and lifeless, the evergreen stood tall and green. It was a powerful symbol, a promise that life could and would endure even the harshest conditions. Across ancient Europe, this defiance against winter was celebrated. Celtic Druids decorated their sacred temples with fir branches. During their wild Saturnalia festival, filled their halls with holly and pine. And in the frosty lands of the Norse, mistletoe and fir were a stubborn reminder that spring would eventually return. These weren't just decorations. They were a lifeline, a connection to the enduring spirit of nature. Now, as Christianity began to spread across the continent, you might think these old pagan customs would simply disappear, but that's not what happened. Instead, they blended, they transformed, and they found a new purpose within a new faith. The evergreen, once a symbol of nature's resilience, was about to become a centerpiece of Christmas. The story really picks up in 16th century Germany. This is where we see the first clear evidence of Christians bringing evergreen trees inside their homes. They called them paradise trees, and they were tied to the medieval tradition of celebrating the feast, Day of Adam and Eve on December 24th. Families would hang apples on a fir tree to represent the fruit from the Garden of Eden, and wafers to symbolize redemption. It was a living, breathing catechism lesson right in their living rooms. The apples eventually gave way to candles, paper roses, and other simple ornaments, slowly morphing into the decorated tree we recognize today. Of course, with a tradition this old, there are always legends. One popular tale credits Saint Boniface, a missionary in the 8th century, with inventing the Christmas tree. The story goes that he found a group of pagans about to sacrifice someone under a giant oak tree dedicated to. Thor Boniface supposedly grabbed an axe, chopped down the oak in a single blow, and in its place, a small fir tree miraculously appeared. He then declared it a new holy symbol, its triangular shape representing the Holy Trinity and its evergreen branches pointing toward heaven. It's a fantastic story, full of drama and divine intervention. But historians are pretty skeptical. There's no mention of it in contemporary records from Boniface's time, so it's most likely a piece of folklore created centuries later to give the tradition a more purely Christian origin. Regardless of whether it was a saint's miracle or a gradual evolution of folk customs, the Christmas tree was taking root. By the 1500s and 1600s, especially in regions of modern-day Germany and Alsace, decorated and candlelit trees were a common sight in Christian communities. They were still tied to those paradise plays which reenacted the story of Adam and Eve. With the fir tree serving as the central prop, it was a beautiful fusion of ancient nature worship and new Christian storytelling. But how did this German tradition travel across the ocean and conquer the world? Well, it wasn't an overnight success. When German immigrants first brought the custom to America, many people were suspicious. To the stern Puritans of New England, a decorated tree smacked of pagan ritual and was frowned upon. For a long time, the Christmas tree remained a charming but niche custom mostly confined to German-American communities. The real turning point, the moment the Christmas tree went mainstream, came in the 19th century. And we have Queen Victoria to thank for it. In 1848, a London newspaper published a drawing of the royal family Queen Victoria, her German husband Prince Albert, their children gathered around a beautifully decorated Christmas tree at Windsor Castle. Victoria was a massive trendsetter, the ultimate influencer of her day. The public saw this cozy, festive family scene and instantly wanted to emulate it. Almost overnight, the Christmas tree became the height of fashion in Britain, and from there, its popularity exploded across the Atlantic in the United States. With this newfound popularity, the decorations became more elaborate. The simple candles, which were a serious fire hazard, started being replaced by beautiful hand-blown glass ornaments, many of them imported from Germany. The apples and wafers were swapped for shiny tinsel and colorful baubles. The tree also took on more specific Christian symbolism. A star was placed at the very top to represent the Star of Bethlehem that guided the wise men, or an angel to symbolize the heavenly hosts who announced Jesus' birth. Over time, the Christmas tree continued to evolve. It shed some of its strictly religious meaning and became a more secular, cultural icon. Today, it's embraced by people of all faiths and no faith at all. It's a symbol of the holiday season itself, of family, of giving, of festive cheer. So when you gather with your family to hang those ornaments and string those lights, you're not just decorating a tree, you're taking part in a ritual that stretches back thousands of years. You're connecting to ancient pagans, celebrating the winter solstice, to medieval Christians, telling the story of Eden, and to a Victorian queen who shared her family's joy with the world. Those evergreen boughs whisper a story of resilience in the face of darkness, of the promise of rebirth and the return of light. It's a message that has resonated with humanity for centuries, crossing faiths, continents, and cultures. It's a story about finding life and hope in the darkest season of the year. And that's a beautiful thing to remember. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories behind our favorite traditions.